Welcome back, everyone, to Onslaught Gaming 40K. And today we have an extra nerdy one. We have Tech Talk with a very special guest, and we're going to break down the GW metrics that are presented in Best Coast pairings. So stay tuned and locked in, everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Show us some love so we can continue on. What's going on, my beautiful people? How's everyone doing?
What's up? Doing
What's
great.
up?
Let's go, people. And we have a special guest today. But before we get to the special guest, Reigel over here. Which one are you? Are we here? I think so. How you doing, brother? How's everything with you?
I'm doing great. I have had a great weekend. I went to an isolated retreat. It was awesome. Back and excited to be on the show. Excited to tackle these topics. Excited to have a guest here because, full disclosure, not a developer, not a coder, want nothing to do with it. So don't worry, guys. I'm with you in the audience. Lots of questions, no answers.
Don't worry. Our special guest is going to break everything down. We're actually going to show you the application as well. It's very beautiful. But before we get into the guest, we have Jake. Jake, my brother, how you been? How's everything with you?
I've been great. The semester ended about a week ago, so I'm finally free from school. No more essays to write. Yeah.
Nice, congratulations.
Nice.
My manager's like, great. So that means you're free on Mondays and Thursdays now, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, but it's fine. It's fun.
Gotta love it. Nice to hear it, brother. And you, the special guest of today, this is your show, Mr. Christopher Michael Todd. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. We just got off. I just got back from Tennessee for Mother's Day, and so we're rested, and I've been working on this app for a very long time. So I'm happy to go over it and show it off and talk about it. I do think it's quite an interesting topic. There's a lot of AI stuff that's going to be popping up. My app touches it a little bit, but a lot of these tools that are going to be coming up, I think, are going to be possibly, affect the way that people play at tables. So I'm happy to talk about it. It's an interesting topic, and let's go. I'm ready.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think in time, people will adopt it, love it, and implement it. So just time will tell, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's go ahead and break down. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself first. Give us a little bit of background of who you are, and also happy belated Mother's Day to your family.
Thank you.
And anyone else out there.
It's also her birthday, yeah. So, I will be actually going to Nova because we talked about it, and you know how September is with Crucible, so I'll be going to both. So, if you're going to Nova, I'll see you there, Lewis, and I'll be at Crucible as well. Although I'm not sure if I'm helping Tim out with narrative or not yet. We'll see how 11th edition goes for if I want to play in the competitive. But a little bit about me. My name is Chris. I started in 10th edition. Started actually in the Orlando area, so that's how I got to meet you and the RTTs that you run there. I've gone to probably more majors than I have any GTs, and I tried to go to RTTs all the time. I main a bunch of I started off as an Ultramarine player, then I moved to Dark Angels. I play Knights. Right now I'm doing Knights. I'm very heavy in Blood Angels as well right now.
Lewis, what is this? We got an Imperium guy. What are you doing bringing more on?
I have T-Sons as well.
Great. So you spit your face.
Yeah. So I'm my goals for 11th are definitely to pick. I've moved to Georgia, sadly, so I'm not near the Orlando folks as much as anymore. But I find it kind of difficult out here to honestly to find events. They sell out really fast here. It's weird here because there's way more players. You don't got like Art of War running around beating all the RTTs and such, but
Yeah.
you do have a lot of competitive teams out here. So it's a great place to be competitive, but it's sprawled. So it could take 50, 60 minutes to get to each event. They don't do them every month like you do, so they'll do them like once. I think they all kind of like give themselves breaks because there's so many different TOs that will run up their own events.
Oh, wow.
And actually, that's part of the reason why I set this app up is because I find myself going to less events. I used to go to one a month, and now I'm lucky if I get to one in 90 days. So I get to the table, and I find it here they enforce clocks a lot more too. So I found myself really getting clocked out a couple times, and just found myself slowing down. My job has picked up. The reason why I had to move is to go back to office. So I have to go into office, so I don't get as much time to, work and talk Warhammer all day long.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I need this app was primarily to help speed up my game table. So that's one of the driving factors. But yeah, my goals for 11th are just to honestly attend as many competitive events as I can. Focus on not like 7 different factions, but maybe just one, and then on top of that to build an orc army. Hopefully, I can get that done by the end of 3 years. So that's my goals. But yeah, but it's mainly just Warhammer. I play 30K a little bit, and I tried AOS, but I'm just keep going back to 40K. So
from experience, building an orc army is miserable. I love it, but hate it at the same time because every single update or every single nerf, every single addition, you are buying into a literal brand new 2K army.
Yeah.
Literally every single time. Right now,
Yeah.
I have to buy 38 bikes because 36 bikes. Because
Yeah.
I only own 12, but they're the old ones because they're coming out with new ones.
The new ones, yeah. And then so I actually have it's on top of my shelf. I actually have like what is it, like I have like 6 boxes of the regular boys, and so yeah, I feel you. I haven't like invested. I got the Combat Patrol magazine, so it has the orc part of that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna get 2 of the 11th edition boxes, so I'll have that. So yeah, it's I understand it. So for me, what I'm going about it as is like not really thinking of it as competitive. I start not narratively, but like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a Goth army, right? So then I know at least like, okay, these are the units that the Goths take on their lists, and I'll just focus on that and then trickle in. Honestly, I did with my other armies, I just looked for people selling their armies or selling gray armies or like primed armies and buy them cheaper that way. But yeah, I feel you. Yeah, especially when you pick a horde army.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
Chris, real random question before we jump into the important stuff, right? Just because you mentioned it, right? How difficult is it, would you say, to get into 30K or to try out 30K if someone knows nothing about 30K but plays 40K?
It's pretty different. I think if you had been around, which I wasn't, prior to different older editions of 40K, you might find it more to your liking. I feel like almost like 30K is for the old 40K players. So and as I meet 30K players, they're all old, played forever, long ago 40K players. So I would say it's much more difficult to pick up. Building the army's interesting, right? Because I actually found out that like Custodes are like a 1-to-1 transfer. Didn't know that. I technically had a 30K army because I have Custodes as well. And Knights also kind of go in between. So building the army could be easy. If you're building like a Marine army, yeah, you got to start. Like I already had like a Land Raider. I built it, and I remember my first event, I went to one of Lewis's RTTs, and I had to get it confirmed that I can actually take a 30K Land Raider as a Land Raider for 40K. And so that kind of made me want to just play Ultramarines for 30K. So that's currently my plan, is playing Ultramarines in 30K. But like I said, Custodes, Knights, they transfer in there. So you might already have a 30K army, to be honest.
Oh, I do. I've got I've got almost max MSUs for all Custodes, just about. But I think I've got, what was it, 14,000 points of Custodes.
Yeah. Wow.
I think a little bit more, but
Yeah.
I want to run Valdor so bad. He's my goat. I love him.
Yeah.
But anyways, on to
All the
the
new
important
models
stuff.
are beautiful. All the new models are beautiful, and I'm
Yes.
excited for both of you. Both of you. Remember, too, Chris, because Jake pointed this out to me. The new tanks have a smaller base size.
The new
Oh,
graphics.
oh, really? Okay.
Yes. I hope that they'll update the sheet in 11th, just because like they talked about like overall like transferring over like, and they've also already so funny enough, right? They've made a mention that like I forgot what the exact quote was in a screenshot that somebody sent me, but with the recent Custodes faction reveal, right? Somebody had mentioned, oh, well, what about my my new grav tanks and whatever else, right? What about those guys, right? And then they said those will be supported in data sheets later on once the like whatever, right?
Okay.
And so by them saying new grav tanks and then them responding, that makes me think that like those new grav tanks will be usable in 40K, which means that they probably will update.
Probably. Yeah. I
Which
feel
means
like anything.
who has old grav tanks needs to get new ones. Oh,
Yeah, I feel like anything plastic that comes out is going to be like you can go to 30K with or 40K with it. But it's interesting that if the base is smaller. Oh, sorry.
Hey, beautiful.
Hey, how's it going? I'll fix that in a second. Speaking of AI, my camera has AI, obviously. Yeah, so the base size means that you can fit through terrain easier, huh? I bet.
Oh yeah, because currently they're on the same basis as knights, but now they'll be on the same size as a orc buggy.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I actually got the box that they just released, so I haven't opened it up yet, and it's a pile of shame right now on my shelf. But to be honest with you, most of my 30K stuff is. So I actually don't have. I mean, if I want to say I have a Custodes army, I do, but I don't have as much as you do. But I have enough probably. The thing about 30K is it's 3,000 points too, so you just bring more. But yeah, it seems like a very interesting game, and I think people may struggle to find people to play it like they do in 40K. In Georgia here, there is a large 30K community. And it's just fun to go see those guys at the table because they'll have like every Primarch on the table, and it's crazy because we don't get access to all the Primarchs in 40K. Yep. It's very interesting. Yeah. Oh, and I went to the Atlanta Grand Champ. I wasn't a part of it, but I went to the narrative, and that was really cool because I was able to pick up some of like the Victrix, I call them Victrix Honor Guard, but they might be called something else. But like the old, like the resin ones, and then I got Gilliman, the one they're probably going to replace eventually here, anyways. But so yeah, I was excited to do that. But yeah, I honestly got busy with work in this app, and I haven't. Like behind me on my table, I have the twin lances for my son. That I'm just wrapping up because we're going to be going to an event here this week. So. Yeah, we're going to MomoCon. I don't know if you've ever been there. MomoCon, Warzone.
I've heard of it. I've never been. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
To nerd out real quick, and then we're going to jump into your portion. There is a big developer show going on today and tomorrow from Google and Anthropic. So it's been nice watching all the new stuff coming out from that as well. But anyways, I digress. Let's get into this. So we're going to go ahead and show off your app. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and show people the UI and how the UX actually works throughout. And user experience is what I'm talking about.
And I want to put a disclaimer as well. So this is, I released it on the web, and it's very difficult to release an Android or an iOS app. So there is an Android beta. So if anyone's interested, they can reach out to me. We can put my email somewhere. I'm assuming to just have them email me, but the Android app is not released yet, and it is still technically a beta. So what's really neat about the app is that because I do have I have to give tokens for any of the cool AI use that you might do in here, because it costs me money. So it costs. It's API calls. It costs money. But what's interesting is that if you report an issue and it ends up being a fix, like if I fix something, I actually give you, and I'm very generous, I give generous tokens for anybody that, so just using the app and finding problems, you're going to probably find them. 40K is huge, and I don't play every army. So like when I really like when other, like the Drukhari jumped in. A Drukhari player came in here and found some issues. I just added splitting technology in this so that you can split your like units that split, which I've never played the Marine unit that does. But anyways, the thing that you might see here is the themes might skip around a little bit, but that's just because I'm tweaking the themes right now. But right now you have the dark theme, and I would honestly switch to the light theme.
Yeah, his face. We can't see his face, Reigel.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Oh.
Okay.
I was like, my face is right there. Oh, the guest, right? There's
no. I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. If you want to show my screen,
please. Yes. Please do. Yes. All right, go ahead. Now you can share your screen, and while you're showing everybody how your application works, tell us, if you don't mind, why did you create the application?
Oh, absolutely.
What was your motivation?
Oh yeah, that's the reason why this thing exists, because there was a ton of motivation. I said to myself, I want to make something that even if I use it, I'll still use it.
Yes.
You know, like I actually at this point, I don't care. I actually don't mind if no one uses it. And I tried to be really generous in giving most of this like away for free, like all this stuff for free. I'll explain some gates on here, but I am sharing it. I don't know if you can pop it up.
I removed mine. Go ahead. There we go. Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys can see it all, and it's not too small. I can probably make it a little bigger.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit, please.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So this is Wardrill. I've turned off all the animations, but definitely have like a lot of animations in this.
The heat map is what sells it up to me.
All right. Yeah, we'll hit that one second.
That's what sells it to me. I
right.
feel like I'm in it. I feel like I'm coding back in the 90s.
So I'm not. I know this is gonna sound ridiculous, and you're gonna find this really funny. But this took a long time to develop, so it takes a lot of work, and I rarely get to play the game. And this makes it worse actually from playing the game. And I actually got to test this live in a game, and I was so impressed with the heat map. Like I was literally like, my opponent would be like, I'm gonna shoot this at that, and I'd be like, okay, hold on 1 second. All right, go ahead. And I like, you want to use AOC? And I'm like, no. And they would do the things, and I'd be like, pretty much on the dot, like what expected damage was and stuff like that. So let's get into it. So the main reason why I set I created this app was this. This is the requisition drill. And by the way, everything in here is AdMech flavored. So I tried to make it feel like you're on a terminal, you know, with and you know, not using a computer, but you know, using a cogitator. So anyways, the first task I had to do is a parser. And so I was trying to be very generous with letting people just put anything they want. But right now it's Games Workshop, the export, and then new recruit. And it will tell you if you use them right now. There's a BCP button here, which is really cool. So this can link to BCP. You can just go into an event and pull a list from BCP as well. I'll get into that.
It's great for tournament organizers like myself.
Yeah.
Right.
So I allow you to save your lists, and you can see I have a bunch of lists in here. And so I'm going to pull one up here. I'm going to pull up my my Warzone list. Actually, no.
I have a portal that I do CSV on mine.
Here, I'm going to show off this sister. This is not my list. This is a user that is actually in my Discord, and they gave me this list. So nice. I won't pretend that I actually know the assignments. Basically, you start the. I don't know the answers to these questions, by the way, so I'm going to set myself up here to be. But so when you get to this section, you have to assign a leader, which is interesting because I set this up before 11th edition announced that you're going to have to like designate a leader to a unit before you go to the table. So the reason why I did this was because the quiz is. I wanted the quiz. I haven't seen anybody do this, and someone's going to probably steal this now, but. I've gone to quizzing like tools. I won't name names, but they're not going to ask me like, I want to know like how much dice do I need to pull out of my pocket for this particular unit with a leader attached to it. So if this leader does something to my unit, gives me extra attacks or makes this, you know, something like, I just want to know what that is. And I want to consider the leader, the enhancement, the detachment, the context, you know, those sorts of things. So I'm just going to pick leaders in here and this automatically knows like, okay, Morven Vol can only go to a Paragon Warsuit. But then it gets to these. So another problem I had to face here was like, you know, duplicate units, but how are they different? So this is, you know, the way we do it. So their special weapon, like this one's Hallowed Maces. And again, anybody that's watching this and is like, why would you ever put a Ministorm Priest with Argo Flagellants? I don't know. I'm just picking that.
Because they need that auto 6. That's why.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's true. I was actually putting them with like, maybe I always put them with Arco because I was like,
they're relatively easy to battle shock, so that's unironically not a bad place to put them.
oh wow, interesting. Okay, all right. So it's not in here because it's not important for the quiz. But if you were running in one of the other programs, it'll actually ask you from here. It'll ask you splitting, and it will ask you to put into a transport, which I just included in this. So, but yeah, so you can pick. Again, this is the drilling. So there's a number of drilling you could do, and this is pretty cool. I just set this up where you could talk, so you can literally say the answer. It's in beta. It's not 100% perfect, but I really want to be able to go like it asks a question and I answer it with my voice. I'm a kind of guy that learns audibly, so if I have to read something, I read it out loud. So anyways, the drill modes break down like this. So full drill is just going to be everything. Game day, I try to focus it on like what you'd want to do the days leading up to an event. Profile drill is just straight stat lines. So you're just going to pick the movement, toughness, the save, the wounds, etc. Just like, if you've ever been across the table from anybody that I'm sure maybe you are, right? Where you just like, you ever ask someone, hey, what's that guy do? And they're like, like that. Like that's kind of what I want to like try to help someone get to, like myself.
Yep.
Let's see. The tactics drill. This one's more about stratagems, enhancements. The fast dice one is trying to do that fast dice memorization. Like this is how many dice I need to pull out and throw here. The cogitator one is really difficult.
Real quick, Chris. For those of you who are watching, this is absolutely amazing. Look at all the utilities that you have, right? Everything that you can do throughout your game. So if you're playing at an onslaught event, a major or something like that, use this product. Use it to your benefit.
So I want to state that we're not in AI world right now. This is curated. These questions are curated by me. They're in a database. So there is for some of these it is using math essentially to plug in. It looks up the weapon. It looks up the toughness or whatever, and makes scenarios that are just plug and play for you. So there's actually no AI here. This one's interesting. I threw this in here. I don't know why anybody would want to do it. It's napkin math. Basically, it just tells you what do you expect the damage to be if I attack this unit to that unit, and it picks a random unit in the database, and then you got to answer like how many wounds you're going to do to it. And then there's a custom one. So we're going to do the custom one.
Yeah. And just to clarify, Chris, what you were talking about too, no AI. Nowadays, for those of you who are not aware, not developers, not engineers, and things like that, when you code nowadays, it is affected by AI because nobody actually does computations anymore. AI does it. But these applications doesn't mean that they're made by AI or they fundamentally have AI inside them. They could have been created by them and still be fundamentally just instructions or a PDF or whatever it might be, right? A lot of things nowadays, believe it or not, and has been for a very long time, been either assisted or created by AI. So
yeah,
for those of you who are scared, it's not. It doesn't mean that it's ran by AI. It means
no. It would be actually unfeasible to run this with AI because it just doesn't work that way. AI costs money.
That's the fear. Yes.
AI costs money. So you could go right now on the app and use this free. Like there's nothing stopping you from using. You're not calling AI. No AI is being called, etc. So I'm just gonna pick some. I'm just gonna go with this. It's 10 questions. I can go up higher than 10 questions. I'll just do 10 questions here, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of these wrong. And some of these might actually be wrong, and that's where this report button down here is. So this little pop-up comes up. You tell me what's wrong, and it gets fixed in the database. And that's again why it's not AI. There's no AI correcting this. This is just literally me auditing it over and over and over again. So it comes up. Here's a go. We got to do now it's going to ask us okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because I think it's cool. So these are the leadership, which we already did. Oh no, it's going to do looping. Okay, again, I just added this. So all right, we're going to go ahead and confirm. All right, so what feel no pain ability to shield the denial grant to a righteous unit and champion of faith detachment? I actually don't know. Do any of you know this answer?
What feel no pain ability does shield of denial grant?
Into a righteous unit and 6 up.
A 6 up? No, go no pain 5 against mortal wounds. Okay.
Oh, it's 5 if you're righteous. Okay.
Isn't that the Custodes one? Shouldn't you Imperium people know this?
One.
Jake.
Whoa.
In
No.
your list, what is the strength of a Condemnor bolt gun on your battle system? I'm gonna guess it's 4.
Wait. Anime Squirrel, type a number. Anime Squirrel is a citrus player, or Alan, one of them two.
2.
Okay, hit 4. They're not listening.
So here's a question that kind of combines things. How many plasma supercharged attacks to dice is the combined unit roll? I want to. Again, I don't play these. I don't play this.
2.
I'm gonna say either 1 or 3. 2.
I'm gonna give it 3. There's no.
It was 1. It was 1. There's only 1, right? I think. I think there was only 1. So there. Let me go. Yeah. So when you get to the end, it tells. It has like a little neat. I put these in. I was really proud of these when I first started. Like it tells you how bad you are. Let's do. I just want to show off the. Let's see. Is it these I want to do?
Well, now I got as soon as we're done, I got to go take the tyranny quiz and see. gonna get humbled real fast.
You're gonna get one wrong, and it's gonna haunt you forever.
Forever.
And I'll tell you though, you will never forget it. You'll never forget that one.
No, if I get it wrong, I'm just selling that model. Clearly, I don't deserve to have it.
It's gonna ask you something like the third Hormagaunt in your unit. What is his name?
Fodder.
You're not gonna know.
No excuses, anime.
The one thing I thought about doing in here, and this is where I'd probably get in trouble with Games Workshop, is I was going to have a lore quiz, but I decided not to do that. So this is one you can drill yourself over. You build up your I didn't show it, but you can actually look at your incorrect answers, your correct answers, and go over them. So yeah, this is the main reason why I made this app. I really just wanted to be able, and it kind of one thing led to another. It's like, okay, well, if I'm quizzing myself, I have to have a parser. So if I'm parsing, I have to make sure it's correct. I can't just let you put anything in here. What if I let a user go in here and put like an invalid illegal list, and they're like training themselves on the wrong thing, and they go to an RTT and they're like, well, I was using Wardrill and it taught me the wrong thing. So I had to spend a lot of time in, like, when you put a list in here, it actually validates it and make sure it's legal. So that led me into the TO tool, which Lewis, you've used, and let me use on your events as well. Right.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yes. Thank you.
So this is the next. This is going to be using an LLM, or AKA AI. So what this is going to do, this is called the Adjudicator Protocol. So the whole idea of this is supposed to be your first line TO. That was the dream on this. So you can ask this thing rules questions, and the way it works is, and this is where people get a little bit apprehensive to the abominable intelligence, right? Is hallucinating, getting things wrong. So the way that I work this, and Lewis, you know about this a little bit, right? In the tech world, when you're working with AI is as good as the pilot. That's you. You are the pilot. AI doesn't do things on its own. You have to like be the project manager of the AI in a sense when you're working with this. So in this particular case, this AI will only work in my database that I have on the app, and that's it. It will not search the internet. It will not go out, and it has rules in place, that guardrails that will not allow it to lie to you or give you false information. And the way it does that is I require it to have the site, to be able to cite from the actual game rules. Now, I won't actually tell you the exact game rules in most cases here, but it will tell you the rules. So I personally have not stunted this thing, and I've asked it some really difficult questions that I've even asked Lewis at events. So like one, like I like the one where it's like, can I, once someone asked this once, can I, what was it? Can I throw a grenade after making a fallback move? Okay. Do you guys know the answer to this?
No, the answer is no.
Okay.
Because they're not eligible to shoot, but if they were eligible to shoot, I believe that you can.
Okay. Right. It's a good question, because like I probably would. I don't think I would have known that answer right out. I'd have to look in the app to figure it out, or I'd let the opponent probably do it. you know. And this is my problem, is I'm at the table and I'm already kind of slower. So it's like when we come up the rules, I'm just like, I don't have time to argue with you or to go over these rules with you, you know what I mean? So this is an example of what it does. Now, what is kind of neat about this is I have a philosophy database that's going to probably go to crap when 11th edition release. I put a lot of effort into this, where it uses competitive philosophy. So you could actually ask it, like, what's the best loadout for my Kriegsman? And it will try to answer. Yeah.
Also, in case you didn't just get that just now, see, that's a question that, like, even I didn't have that 100% down. I thought, like, if they were eligible to shoot, then they can throw a grenade. And so I was like, see, that right there proved me wrong in 2 seconds.
Yeah. I actually learned some things too. Like, I used to think that when you're shooting like Hellblaster, I can't remember the exact context here, but like, you know, the Hellblaster bus where when you the Hellblaster, you get out and your guys die and that's not actually allowed. If the impulsor kills the Hellblasters on its when they get out, they don't get to shoot. And I've done that many times and no one's questioned it. Now they get to shoot again and they can then blow themselves up. But yeah, they don't die when you get out. So like, this is an example of this is going to sound really stupid, but one person told me once, and it was at a game, and I was playing somebody, and they told me, and I believed them, that when the Sanguinor comes down and charges in one of the like lag or whatever, like he gets the charge bonus. I was like, what? That's crazy. And I let him do it. And so then when I started playing Blood Angels, I started doing that until someone called a TO on me, and I was like, felt like crap. I couldn't like let that go out of my head that I had been playing for wrong, and then that person gave me a bad habit, and then I was potentially passing a bad habit onto other players. So this is cool, because sometimes I'll be honest, like when I'm at an event, I don't like, Lewis, like, he's busy, running around. I don't want to bug him on every little question. So this is cool, right? I think this is really neat. And that's the adjudicator protocol for you, and like you can just ask it questions. This does require tokens, right? But yeah, I try to make it as cheap as possible on the tokens, but I see someone using this at an event, and if you're going to a lot of events, you probably would sign up. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the calculator.
Before you move on, I want to add something real quick for the people who are listening. First of all, thank you to everyone continuing to listen and to our tech talk with Chris over here. But I wanted to let you know as well that this technology is helping us as 40K players and tournament organizers like myself really leverage and save time on having to do our jobs or having to pull up the rule throughout the game, right? And this is going to be contentious when I say it, right? But the reason that people have to create a solution because there's a problem inherently in the rules, the comprehensive rules of Warhammer 40K are just not written tight enough, right? There's no referencing currently. There are so many keyworded special same abilities that are named so differently that every single one of them acts differently. And as a tournament organizer, you can't remember them all, right? So these are tools to help out individuals, and this will help us out in the long run, I'm telling you. The number one reason why I did that, to your point, is the fact that if I ask you something and you come up and you say, Chris, what is the thing? And I tell you the thing, you go in the app and you look it up and you might find it in the core rules. But it's superseded by something in the FAQ. Yep. And you didn't, so you got to know, like muscle memory, okay, I got to start here first, check the FAQ, then I go to the core, so that's what this is actually. If anyone would know, it's me.
Right. I mean,
it's me. Yeah.
Me too. Like, it's me too. Like, I can't tell you.
I'm saying as a tournament organizer, having to dig down into rules and figure it out. I'm saying, right?
Right. Yeah. So the other thing,
as a tournament organizer, I have to know everything, just about.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the AI. So what I want to talk about AI real quick is that there's something called prose AI, which is where you only provide facts to an AI, and all it does is it writes over it. It puts prose to it. So that whole adjudicator thing is prose. It's literally in a database already. It just basically makes it sound like it's a cogitator, like an admech thing talking to you, but really it's already it's not having to figure out anything. It's just plugging things together and then talking to you like it's a robot or whatever, but it's not actually like coming up with the solution on the fly. All that data is already in a database. So
if any of you have ever worked at your jobs like Caban and Monday.com, things like that, is very similar to that potentially.
Yeah.
Like automation boxes. Very similar.
The other thing too is that I think this is going to be bigger as 40K gets bigger. TOs, big events, you need so many TLs per table. I was actually told this by somebody, I won't name who it is, but they told me that somebody in Europe spends a ridiculous amount of money with their events, and that's event money that they're spending on hotel costs and having as many TOs as possible, and it's for an event organizer that barely breaks even. I know you all don't make a ton of money off these things, right? So you're doing it for the love, and that's a cost, right? Yeah. And so if there's something that could be that only layer in between, yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. So this is a calculator. So the point of this was, I love a unit crunch. I love unit crunch. I use unit crunch throughout all the time. Every time I go prepare for an event, I'm doing unit crunch. I'm trying to figure out how many things it takes to kill Catan, that kind of stuff. So the thing about unit crunch is, for me, like, you have to provide the profiles because, and yeah, it's not super easy on your phone. So I was trying to figure out a way to make it easy on the phone. So the first thing was like this full matchup part that I have set up here. So I'm just going to pick my knight list, and I'm going to pick this Blood Angels list. Okay, so this is like you're at an event, or you're at not maybe at an event, maybe you're just being casual or whatever, playing a game on Saturday or with your buddies. You can actually get this up, and it will allow you to select. So I put my Knight Defender. Let's say I want to shoot this, or I want to go after this ball predator. So you select your attacker, your defender. You choose the context here. So let's say I do shooting, and it will allow you to toggle things. It'll allow you to switch. Like for right here, I put this overcharge toggle on automatically. So you're not going to shoot your standard here. You're going to shoot these things that are lit up. You can put context for what's going on here. Are we doing an Overwatch? They have a cover save. It's a half range. Then you got all these different modifiers you can do, right? You got stratagems here that you can do. You can do your defender command reroll. Like, let's say I think they're going to do a command reroll here. Mm-hmm. And then just in case I didn't capture something here, because it is a lot of data through data sheets and detachments. I think I got most of all of it. Is this little neat toggle button down here that you can kind of, let's say they don't have it. I want to do let's see, reroll 1 to hit or something like that. You can go ahead and do that here. You can do sustain hit 2. You can toggle through it and apply it. So then when you do calculate, you get here. And this is actually, doesn't seem like it. It's 1,000 rolls. Now, Unit Crunch does 10,000 rolls. And I could do 10,000 rolls for the web. However, on your phone, that is your phone actually doing 10,000 rolls. So it'll take a bit. It's actually almost unnoticeable for this. I'm actually thinking about increasing this 10,000 in this single one-on-one kind of thing. But the heat map, it gets very long to load a heat map at 10,000 rolls for every single possibility that could happen. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But basically, yeah, it rolls down the expected outcome. I worked really hard on this because I like to see what I'm hitting on. This is really important when my opponent is attacking me. I'm like, I want to make sure that they're actually doing the right thing. I've caught my opponent in my last game not hitting correctly, not using the right roll. He was saying he's hitting on 2s, but he was actually hitting on 3s. When I questioned him, then he was like, oh yeah, you're right. And that's because I could see what they should be hitting on, what they should be wounding on. So I'm going to do the math for me all in my head. I have added this too, where it does it's called Monte Carlo. It's not doing Monte Carlo math. It's just doing median math, which is what you do with napkin math. If I'm rolling a 4-up invul, it's 50% chance, right? That kind of math. It's not really accounting for that. You can roll hot or roll low or that kind of thing. So this is the calculator, just the straight up calculator. This is free. You can access this free on my app. Does not use AI or anything like that. Yeah, I'll stop here. You guys got any? If you have any you want to ask about this, let me go back to the modify here. So actually, let's do a matchup. So yeah, and here you could do, like I said, you could do both. The idea of this, I play Blood Angels, so maybe I want to know what happens when Dante shoots his partition gun at you and then charges you and then swings his axe at you, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I like the both icon thing. So let's go back to the threat heat map. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'll just pick these right there.
It just looks so beautiful, man. It's so
Thank you. And all of this is animated. I'm not really showcasing the animation. So I don't know if I can make my screen wider here. Okay, so on your phone you would actually flip it here, but this is the heat map. So right off the bat, I'm gonna go to both. So this is considering both, and what that means is that you're to shoot, charge, and fight. You could do melee only. My list here is a lot of Warglaives, and this is a very melee list. So I have a Cerastus Knight and Warglaives. But you can see how it stacks up against the Blood Angels army. So this is best case scenario. I'm improving this, but the idea, and it says on the top, I believe, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't say that, but there's no stratagems involved in here, so you could emulate your stratagems here. But I am actually working on trying to figure out how to do. Again, I don't want to. This is like that's for the other calculator. This one's like I want to know a quick best case scenario, and then you would just plug in things. This is what I used in my game. I was very impressed at how accurate it was. So again, you get the same modal that when you clicked on it. When you click on it, you can see the breakdown. It does. It's like for example here, I didn't pick my Chauvet code, but you know, I would argue that in most cases the reroll ones is the best one. However, I may do, you know, +2 to move, you know, those kinds of things in my games. But and that's where I'm thinking of like having toggles for some of these like knights and such. But yeah, so this is I got some toggles down here. That's the kill percentage here. Again, best case scenario. Here's the wipe percentage. So this is how much you're killing of the unit, or how many wounds you're taking from the unit. Here's the wipe percentage. Like, what's the chance of you wiping the whole unit? This is
powerful concept. No, it's a powerful concept. Now, what do you think that people misunderstand the most about like threat range, board control, safe positioning? What do you think people misunderstand the most?
About what? About this or?
Yeah. The heat map.
The thing that you have to be careful on this one is you need to know that it's best case scenario. So like, for example, everything is assumed to have oath.
Yes.
Okay. Everything, everything's at half range. Yes. If you have a heavy weapon, you're standing still. It's like best case scenario. So here's the thing about this. I don't want to give you the exact answer here. In fact, I don't think anything can. Nothing's going to give you the exact outcome that's going to happen. That's partly on you as a player to do that. What this helps with is when you go against, and I don't know how many people had that opportunity to do this, but when you go against these super hyper competitive players that play either for a living or that play like every day or every week, multiple games and stuff like that, YouTubers, you know, which is, you know how it is in Orlando, right? These people already have this in their head.
Yep.
They already know this. They already know what the outcome is going to most likely be when they choose their targets. And they know when you choose one of their targets, what they're going to do. So all this does is kind of, I'm hoping it kind of narrows the gap a little bit. Someone like me with, you know, that has a full-time job, barely gets to play, but still wants to play and still wants to participate in competitive. I'm not going to win events with this, but like, it's going to make me play a little faster. And that's all I'm asking for, is to play a little faster. I want to get to the 5th round, right? I want to play the game all the way through. But there's no ranges on here. It's considering that you are within range, and that you do successfully charge and all that kind of stuff. There is Overwatch. So you can flip to Overwatch. This is, I think, really powerful. So my son loves to Overwatch all the time, and I've played team games with me and him at the table, and I'll be like, this is the dumbest idea ever. Please don't Overwatch, and he will Overwatch, and it always doesn't work. And I've learned that, you know, I've learned this a while ago, that Overwatching is something you really have to understand what you're doing. But yeah, you can see here it's just not so great, right? Indirect. I don't have any indirect, so I guess I can't over it. But yeah, if I did have indirect, it would switch the weapon. It only show me weapons that are indirect. What else? So here's some AI stuff. This one's not AI. So if you don't like AI, you could do this. So this shows you, again, this is all using math, okay? The top threats to your army in a particular order. And it tells you some information about them. So now I know like their top attack, you know, so I can like I can just look at this while I'm playing the game and just like reference it real quick. Their army rule, their stratagems, and And so if they bring up a stratagem to you, you should already be able to look at it here. This may not be so great when Games Workshop. It may not be as helpful when Games Workshop allows you to look at your enemies, or your opponents, I should say, not enemy, but your opponents' data cards. I think it's one of my biggest complaints right now is like, if I don't own the codex, I can't see their stuff. I gotta ask them to see their phone, and it's very intrusive, and it feels like I'm questioning them, like calling them a liar or whatever. People do it to me all the time. I don't take a big deal. I don't make a big deal out about it. Some people find out I was wrong, like that kind of thing. So, and it leads to bad feelings. So
yeah. So Chris, speaking of that, right? So for me, as someone who tries to like really get all that mental math down in the game, right, and like have like that kind of expectation of, okay, so these 2 units lined up on that right there. If I shoot these 2, it'll more than likely kill it, right? But I need to have a 3rd unit just in case if I need like some peddly little small shots to guarantee. But these 2 units alone should get this done, right? And thinking, right, and then trying to like project the opponent's pieces into ours, right? I can't count the number of times I'll ask my opponent the same question over and over. Be like, okay, they hit on what? Okay, strength on their guns. Okay, toughness and saves, wounds 2. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. And I'll ask the same toughness of that unit like 8 times and what their save is, and just to like kind of keep it going.
Yeah, even in like, so I will say this is probably not going to eliminate all the fog, because just at being at a table with the terrain and all your models on there, you're still going to have some fog. It's going to reduce it. I don't know if you play TTS, you know what I'm talking about. In TTS, you literally have all this information at your fingertips while you're playing.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
And you do play faster, so that's probably going to be what I'm hoping the speed is going to try to get up to, like how fast you'd play in TTS when you don't have everything memorized, but it's right there when you hover over the unit.
If only you could click and drag between models IRL and see exactly how many inches you are away. Okay, I'm 16 inches really away. Cool. Okay. Now 10. So that's a 10-inch charge. Okay, cool.
Yeah. You can actually see your opponent measuring and exactly. Yeah. So this is not AI. This is literally just a quick sheet. I love this. I'm going to show you what the AI will do. So we're going to go back here. I'm going to run this deep one here. And you'll see it's not going to add a whole lot of information, but what it's going to give you is some context between. This is, again, not polling the internet. I want to make that super clear. If something's wrong here, it's my fault. It's my data that it's pulling from. So this section up here is the LLM that's pulling from the database here. So it tries its best to tell you, like, what you should target first. It has some remembering bullets. Liberator Assault Group gives his jump infantry, advance, charge, sanguinary guard, jump assault. And these things as a new player. And by the way, I didn't really say this. This app is not meant for super hyper competitive, like already know everything in the game kind of people. This is for people that, like myself, I just can't. I literally, I think one Crucible, I spent 2 nights. My family had cue cards, and they were quizzing me on my weapons and stuff, so I could be really fast. And it worked. I went to Crucible, and I think my first Crucible, I did every game to 5 rounds. But it's just one of those things where it's like, that's what this audience is target for, those kind of players like myself. So yeah, it does add this information on here. You can take it or leave it. Like I said, you don't have to use it. There is a section for the just the basic information, which I showed prior to this. So that is the heat map, and I think that's what most people are going to want to use at the table. You're going to turn your phone, you're going to have that, you're going to place your phone down, and then you're going to be able to reference that information. And that, as you noticed on that screen that has all the quick information, you can flip back and forth between the heat map. You don't have to reload it over and over. This one is the same exact concept. So it's the same concept, but you don't have an opponent that you don't know their list, so you would pick their list here. And I tried very hard to. I'm going to improve on this, especially with the meta list that we're researching off BCP. But you'll be able to pick, an army. You'll be able to pick their detachment, and then it will give you some target dummies. And so you would get the same kind of thing where you'd be able to get some effect. This is cool when you're sitting down and you're actually planning out your list and you want to see stuff if you don't have an opponent list. But getting an opponent list is so easy to get nowadays. This is just like a little extra. In case you don't have an opponent list.
Love it. No, everyone, go check it out. Please make sure to check them out online for the time being until he gets that into the Play Store. I know how challenging it is. Also, to just a nerd topic talking today. Actually, today, if you develop in Gemma 4.0, which is Google's I/O or AI, they allow you to do it seamlessly into their own Play Store because obviously they own it.
That's awesome. No, that's really cool. I wish, yeah. Like I said, I'm dealing with the Android Play Store stuff right now. I don't want to take too much. I don't know how much time I have left, but
no, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I do. I really want to run through. So like, I'm gonna skip a little bit to the Tactica strategy. So this one is pretty good. I've actually.
Chris, give us a little bit. We're gonna pay the bills real quick. We'll be right back. Yep. We're gonna pay the bills and give us a second, everyone. Make sure to sponsor, and if you can, grab a product or two from our sponsor. As soon as I find it, my goodness. Sometime today, guys.
No, just buy something from every sponsor that's been on the show. Just cover your bases.
Blooper. Now with a word from our sponsor, Baron of Dice. Baron of Dice is your one-stop shop for premium wargaming dice. Our dice are made with premium resin materials and colored dyes. Each die is hand-mixed to the desired result and then carefully swirled with 2, 3, or 4 colors in a silicone mold before being laser engraved with a wicked symbol and finished in a matte or gloss polish. There are no imperfections in our dice, no balancing issues, no micro bubbles or mold lines. This is the difference between. You can, quite literally, feel and hear a difference with our dice. Whatever game you play, whatever style your team or faction rocks, we're sure to have something to elevate your game. With over 500 styles and over 4,000 customer reviews, welcome to the best dice on the planet. Now back to our show. Thank you, everyone, and make sure to go check out Baron of Dice. Can you believe, guys, I made that advertisement about 5 years ago. I need to make a new one for Baron of Dice.
Yeah, you got to get one with the people rolling dice and stuff. Like,
yeah, I know. I need to do one of those.
You should take one of your RTTs and do it. Just take one of them and be like, guys.
Listen, when I get free time and you sell it to me, I'll do it. Go ahead, Reigel.
If you need someone for the A roll of like at the beginning of the video, only rolling 1s and 2s, I'm your guy. Put dice in my hand.
Oh,
bro,
we're gonna
just ask anybody. If you roll a really high roll with Baron of Dice, call me over. I'm gonna take a video of that so you can show it.
Why are yours that bad?
I have pictures. I literally have taken pictures.
Lewis,
I use Games Workshop dice a lot, so.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
At Geo12, the little the small Custodes dice, right? In my game against Derek, I've never rolled so hot in my life. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, thank God we had someone else standing over my dice full. Otherwise, I would have felt so horrible that whole time. I'm like, I swear.
I'm gonna do this for Crucible. You know they have the metallic sticks, the magnet sticks. I'm gonna get one of those and just walk around tables around the dice. At Crucible, I'll just walk around the tables right in front of, on top of the dice, and just walk around with that wand.
What's funny, Jake? Oh, sorry. What's about Jake's story about GO12? I had not one but 2 opponents apologize to me for how bad my dice were rolling. That's how you know it's bad.
I get it every time. I get it all the time. Every event, they're like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so bad." I'm like, "Yeah, I feel bad too."
We're like, I'm so sorry.
No, we feel bad for you because you paid a premium for them GW dice. You probably paid 3 times the price for any other set of dice.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Baron dice. I love their matte, and I like the sharp corners. But then I'll go and see someone else is using Baron dice and using the soft corners, and they're like rolling really well. And I'm like, maybe it's the sharp corners. I got to get the soft corners. But I think I've spent I don't know how much money on Baron of the dice, but I've not tried. I have them. I haven't tried them yet. They're smaller ones. Is Jake? Is that what you're talking about? The smaller, they're smaller dice.
Yeah. I love the tiny ones because
Yeah.
For me, I'm so ADHD and all over the place, so I like to fiddle with my dice, right? And I just like to have a fistful of dice, like a whole bunch of them, right? Whenever I go to roll my rolls, and so then I just dump it.
I think
Right?
it's actually, yeah, I think it's actually cost effective. I think they charge
It
you
is.
less, you get more
No.
dice. Yeah.
I don't think. No, I think you get the same amount, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
not.
you get more because it's the tin and it's got the dice are smaller, so I think you get more. They might charge a little bit more
Yeah,
for
you
it.
get 25 for each tub.
Yeah,
Which is
Yeah.
also pretty cool because playing Custodes for all of my beginning of 10th and then Victrix for the end of 10th, which is like the same exact profile pretty much, right?
Right.
5 guards is 25 attacks, so that's literally just all of my dice. So I just take a look out there. I'm like, okay, do I have any dice out there? Any of them? Okay, no. Okay, so I have all my dice. Okay, cool. So I don't even have to count. Boom. Because I can only ever have 25 at a most.
Right. So I'm going to quickly just show this off. This is LLM, and this is using that knowledge base database I was talking about earlier.
For those of you who don't know what LLM means, it means, oh my gosh,
learning
language model.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah. So again, and I like to use that better because when you say AI, it's almost like you are talking to something and it's talking back to you. There is, outside of the adjudicator stuff, which even that is prose, this is prose. So this is basically like a thin layer on top that kind of makes a document, but it's based upon factual data that it's pulling from something. It's not making something up.
Correct.
Now, this is my first iteration. I'm working on a new version right now that's even less involved, and it's like you don't even have like how I showed you earlier, where you can go and click a button and you instantly get data on something. Like I'm trying to make that so you don't even need to even call an LLM for the prose. But anyways, this is how it looks right now. You can get an analysis of your list. And here's my thought process on this. So hear me out. Okay, I make a list. I don't have time to play it. I have an event tomorrow. This is literally almost every single event for me. I'll literally make a list and I'm like, oh crap, I got to get a game in. And I have no one I can play my son, but he knows exactly how I play. I know exactly how he plays. I'm not going to get anything out of it really. So we still do it, but like, it's not really the same. So I'm going to event blind, right? Pretty much, right? Or what I can do is I can go and hire a coach, right? I can go hire a competitive coach, pay hundreds of dollars to talk to them about my list. I can go on Discord. I can go on Onslaught Discord. I can go on any other Discords everyone knows about, the faction Discords. I could go ahead and post my list there and get some randos giving me opinions on it. I can go to Reddit, post. Basically, I can go anywhere and get opinions, right? Yeah. So this is an opinion. You don't have to agree with this. And I find a lot of people that don't know, they're kind of like, I don't know how my list really works. They get a lot out of this. So this is going to be an opinion because it literally is my opinion from a database. So it's pulling this, and it's stuff I've learned over the time. And I watch all the YouTubers, so I learn stuff from them as well. But basically, here is my my spearheaded arms report. I'm not 100% happy with everything it says in here, but I also know exactly how I'm going to play this. But if I didn't know how to play this, this could be helpful. It tells you your weaknesses. It tells you your strengths. This one, the deployment stuff may not be exactly how you want to deploy, but if you have no plan, this could be helpful. Key stratagems it tells you about, to focus on the ones you need to focus on that apply to your army. If you had something specific in here, it would tell you that is the Knight Army. Battle plan, it tells you the turn by turn battle plan, generally what it thinks you should do with this. Actually, let me see if this is the vendor. So this is actually probably more biased how I want to play, but Defender advances up, and the Lancer is behind. And basically, this is a pressure list. It could tell that I have these Warglaives and I have Defender that you want to stand behind. And this is actually not how I normally play Spearheaded Arms. But because I have the Lancer in here and because I have the Warglaives, is detecting a little bit different on how to push this up. So basically being like a very aggressive army. But anyways, it tells you what you should be worried about for matchups. It does a loadout audit. I'm not a big fan of this, but points out the Ministorm Priest, which, whatever, it's sitting on a home objective. And it gives you like a final assessment, and you can export this to PDF, and you can analyze another list. So yeah, that's basically how this works. There's another one I'm working here as beta one I was talking about, and this one, yep.
So that feature specifically, right? I really, really love that, and I believe you may have already mentioned this or covered it a little bit, right? But I feel like in Warhammer, right, and especially like when you start looking at all the tournaments and people wanting to go to tournaments and go to bigger events and whatnot, right, you find a lot of people who will go and look up at all of these top performing lists, these top meta lists, and then just copy them down but their struggle is that they don't really understand how the list is supposed to operate, right? And so while they could be running an A-tier list, right, their performance is going to be a little bit subpar just because they aren't entirely sure how they should function it, right, and how they should operate it, right? I think that that's really, really awesome because you can go and for people who want to go and copy these lists, right, or they see a list that looks really cool, like I really like this concept of throwing this all together, but I wonder how this is going to like mesh together, you know, like how would I put this on the table? How do I like run this up, right? It gives them a cut clean example of like, hey, this is what you can do, right? This is what the math says about it, right? This is stuff to look out for, right? These are your key assets, your key points, key little stuff you want to like go and put together, right? And then the best part is it's all an opinion, like you said, right? So you don't have to take it all verbatim, right? But that is a great solid starting point to be able to format and then figure out how you want to play accordingly based off the list that you now have plugged in.
Right. Yeah. The general rule is like for me is like, and it will tell you if you have a crap list.
Yeah.
You know, it'll say the way I've done it is like the way I actually tested this. So what I did is I threw a list together.
All in Furnace Marines.
I just randomly, dude. Marines was a bad example, but I went in there. I literally like just randomly picked different Marines, and I picked Librarian Conclave, and I didn't put Librarians in the list. So like that's like, you know, you don't even have an attachment then at that point. And so it'll autofill like this, it'll autofill you, right? So this is a beta one that I'm developing right now, and this one so this one asks you questions. This is my beta of the new version of it. So this one will ask you questions like if you know at least your first mission. Ooh. I think most people want to you know, probably practice most. So like I know that I'm playing mission M and I'm doing layout 4. And then it asks me some questions. So it's kind of zoomed in right here. So let me try to make it a little easier so it'll ask you like, what's your primary win condition? So I can't remember what list I just picked here, to be honest with you. What did I pick? I don't remember what pick I picked here, but I would say I'll go commit hard on 2. What are you gonna do? Oh, secondary. Okay, this is my Blood Angels list. So yeah, so I'm gonna go 2, right? So I'm gonna stage near midfield. I'm probably gonna put him. Yeah, I'll probably stage him near midfield to go second. I'm gonna put these guys in reserve. And what if I go second? Man, my stuff's I want to go second. So let's see. I'll accept the trade, whatever. So and this will run through. Now this might take a minute. If you guys don't want to wait, we can. But basically,
and if you want to check this out for yourself as well online, go ahead and check it out, please. I'm gonna put the link right up.
Let's move forward. So that's I just want to show how to ask questions. So I'm definitely one's cool. Pairing Scout. So you're at an event. It's today's event, and this should work. Hang on. Yes, I have a so for the web I have a extension for BCP, and so I'm gonna log in here to be okay. I'm already logged in. Cool. And so this is important for the web because, yeah. All right, cool. Oh, I should be able to do it. No. Well, anyways, I'm not in my normal browser, and that's why this is not working probably for me right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not in my normal browser. So,
no worries,
but anyways,
people, yeah, just go ahead and check it out. They'll be able to play for it themselves, right, and kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, but this is what this is supposed to do. Is it's supposed to if I was logged in, and it does require BCP, so it does need to be copacetic with BCP. But basically, you could put your event in here as well, and essentially it will look you up. It'll ask you who you are. You pick your name from the list of all the players in the event, and then it will automatically, if it's round 1, it will automatically pull your opponent's list in, so it goes directly to a heat map. So you don't have to so you don't have to go and ask your opponent or find your opponent and put a list in. Now the BCP link and all these links do the same thing, but this one does it automatically, and it's based on the rounds that you're in. So it's really fast. Like I don't know if you've been like, okay, guys, we're doing the first round. You're at your tables. You rushed your tables, and you got like 15 minutes to start your game, or maybe 10 or 5 minutes to start your game. So it can be jarring. So to have this, to be able to click a button and go through it. Now, I will say the web version has the toughest time with BCP, but the Android app, what's really cool with the Android app is it's just all seamless. So the Android app, it connects to BCP automatically. This one, and I'm not going to be able to show it off. I wish I could because of the BCP is not working in this browser. But basically, this one is for a TO. So if a TO has an event, they can go ahead and plug in their event. It'll go through every single player list at the event. It will validate each list. Again, this is not AI. I want to emphasize this is not AI. This is using my parser validator to basically determine if anyone has an illegal list. So, I mean, it's not going to stop someone from being like a pocket forge fiend, but it will. Listen, it'll tell you if someone's not got a warlord. One of the most awkward situations I've ever been at. I go to a table as Blood Angels, and I have the Sanguinor. Just want to point that out. And my opponent walks up to me. He's a knight player. He's like, "Hey, I noticed you don't have a warlord." And I was like, "I don't." He's like, "Yeah, you don't have a warlord assigned." Awkward. TL came over and it was like, he was nice. He's like, "Look, I think you made a mistake, so I'm not going to yellow card you." So I almost got yellow carded for not having a warlord on my list, and it was an honest mistake. But I totally get it. Night players like, this guy can pick the Sanguinor, put him in the sky, and that's it. And I don't get this is back when they had to kill the warlord. So it was awkward. So yeah, it'll find that information. It will make sure that someone doesn't have invalid loadouts. So it's really cool. And actually, I use that to train my parser. So I'll go on BCP and figure out which parsers or which breaks the parser, and then repair it that way. And then finally, I'm going to end this off I am developing an army list builder. It's not quite there yet, but I figured, hey, the next step is to let users actually make lists inside the app. So that's going to round it out. I have a Discord. All the links are in here. I got shout outs, special thanks to everyone here and the competitive community. If you're I only have a few of them, but if you're at my top tier, you also get mentioned here. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to actually use it this week when I go to the 3-day event, the major I'm going to. And yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I'll learn a lot probably for, what to improve and what works and what doesn't work. But I really need feedback from users. It's at the point now where it's so large with so many attachments and so many army lists that it's gold to me. So again, if you use the app and you don't want to become a member or whatever, that's fine. There's a free tier. And I forgot to mention this. I actually give everyone on a free tier tokens free every month. That's cost to me. So it's free. I want people to use this. I want them to help them in their games. This is primarily to help the community out. So it's not trying to I'm not trying to get rich off this or nothing like this. Literally just want users to use it and actually improve. And if I can help just a handful of people improve their game, then it's a win for me. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's Wardrill.
No, thank you. Listen, you've helped me out immensely, like going to events, letting people know about the events and stuff like that. I see a lot of people asking less in frequency, right? That means that people are all developing they either know the rules, learn the rules, saw it already on one of the applications, your application, right? So people are catching on, understanding a lot better. So you have helped the community a lot. And I hope you continue to do so. I wish you nothing but the best in your app. I hope you continue to crush it. It looks beautiful to all of you who haven't seen it in the actual store yet. When you see it in the store and the animations on it, it looks absolutely beautiful. So go check that out. Thank you so much, Chris, for your time, my brother.
Yeah, sure.
Any questions from Jake and Reigel for Chris before we head out into our next segment?
No, I'm trying to link my BCP to Wardrill right now.
No, that was very
live, baby.
I want to see what it says about my list because I run a very off-meta little 9 units and friends,
All I want to say is, Chris, you were a very brave man putting your socials and stuff up, being like, yeah, this is just my opinion in the database. Everyone's gonna go in, put their list in, and be like, what are you doing
right now?
Your list sucks, and your Discord is just gonna be a bunch of people like, what do you mean this unit sucks?
Yeah.
You have to specifically throw in that if they're running defilers that they should feel bad about.
Oh man, so defilers, it was I just got that in. So that's part of what I think what you guys are going to talk about next is kind of looking at like the winners, like Chaos Space Marines, just like
PTSD.
Yeah.
when you mentioned it can tell you about cracked lists, I'm like, look, I got a CSM list we can put in right now live and tell us how cracked it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that list. Oh.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know how they let that one through the cracks, especially what they did to Yarrick and stuff like that. So to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, it's crazy. The one thing I will say is before we end on this is that yes, there's not a whole lot of love here for iOS. You have to use the web app, which is part of the why I put so much effort into this BCP on the web side. because the problem, and we can get techie on this, but the problem is that you have to be logged in as you and to be, you're not logging in anonymously. They don't just let you go and look at this data. You have to log in to see this data. So it's not, I can't break into BCP and take that stuff, so, and I'm not trying to mess with BCP either. I'm not trying to piss them off or anything. So
that's why I do PSP.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of other people they use BCP for this data and they seem pretty chill about it. But they they got a term of service. We got to be careful on that. So, and also I don't want any credential data being stored anywhere. That's one thing about my app is I don't store any credential data at all. I use Google sign up, which again is not super friendly to iOS. And then I have passwordless sign up, so you don't actually put a password in. It sends you a link to your email and then just remembers you when you go to it. So again, no credentials. So that's part of the BCP problem, is that you have credentials in there. So we're trying to work around that without having to capture your credentials. I don't want to have to ever have anybody's credentials on this, even if it's encrypted. So anyways, yeah. So the BCP stuff is really cool, but it's not required. You could copy and paste the list in here from BCP manually if you wanted to. All my effort here is trying to make it a little easier on you from having to copy and paste it. You could just, hit a button and get it. I don't know why it's working in this like kind of like incognito Chrome browser I made for this stream, but it works in my other browser, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, man, that's it. I really appreciate the time showing this off. Yeah, and I hope this helps people.
Round of applause for you, man. Once again, that was absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
And people know, if they know me, right? Like, I could definitely nerd out. I met this guy who was in cybersecurity, and like, we had a whole hour tangent. And I was like, hey, don't you have to play a game? And he's like, yeah, you're going to yellow card me? I'm like, no, hell no.
A lot of IT people play Warhammer, so.
Yeah.
Chris. Question, because I'm fiddling with it right now. Okay, so I'm plugging in my list right now, right? And we're over there where I'm attaching my commanders to their units, right? I have 3 units of Victrix Guard, right? I have a full 6-man that includes the 2 special characters, and then I have a 6-man of just normal Victrix, and then I have a 3-man of normal Victrix, right?
Yeah.
How do I know which one's the 3-man? Because right now it's telling me that I've got the Victrix with the chapter Ancient, which is obviously my special one. Mm-hmm. And then we have Victrix number 2 and Victrix number 3, but there's no difference between the two. I'm assuming Victrix number 3 is going to be the 3-man. Maybe.
Oh, it doesn't tell you a number next to it? It should tell you a number next to it, doesn't it?
It just says
you got a bug to fix already.
Yeah. I think I have a list in here with Victrix Guard in it. Let me see.
Reigel, you wanna start this one off, brother, or Jake? Jake, you're already kind of in motion. Once we're done.
Yeah, yeah, man. So what you do is you hit report on that, and you just basically be like, hey, I should. It doesn't say how many the Victrix Guard are. These are 2 different Victrix units. Just say whatever, and now look into it. But it should say the numbers next to it. So that's odd. Now I will say this: I struggled heavily with game. What export are you using? Games Workshop or are you using New Recruit?
New Recruit.
Yeah. Okay. So New Recruit is completely different and has to be parsed completely different. So if you had to get, so if I test with Games Workshop, so for New Recruit, it's for another place where I need help people testing that parser. I was trying to be a dummy programmer and putting them together in one magical parser that does both. I had to rip it out. I had to rip them apart. So now I have a New Recruit parser and I have a Games Workshop parser, and they work completely separate one another. And that's still relatively new. So there could be it could struggle on trying to count the units based on how New Recruit lists it.
Yeah, I would just assume that it's like list wise, right? So if at the top of my list is the chapter Ancient, right, and then the next one is Victrix number 2, and the third one's Victrix 3, and the last one on that list is the 3-man, it's probably going to be that 3-man, especially when you look at the list, right? And the list at the very top has the one with all the first characters.
It probably does it serially. One thing I would say is you can test it for me and let me know. I would move on to a different subject, but export with the GW mode. It's not the default one. There's a GW mode in there. Test it with that. I'm curious if you get different results with that one, because that is the one that I liked the best out of the New Recruit for the parser reasons, for coding reasons. It has a little bit more like the Games Workshop one, which makes it a little easier to parse. But yeah, I'm assuming if I put a Games Workshop one, it'll tell me the number next to the unit name. It'll be like a Sanguinary Guard. It'll be like Sanguinary Guard 6, Sanguinary Guard 3. It'll do that if there's no difference in their weapons. So I'm assuming that's a new recruit thing. But yeah, just hit the report and you get tokens. So you'll get 15 tokens. So you can play around with the AI and stuff if you wanted to. You automatically get 15 by signing up, and then you get 30 if you fix the issue.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I know things are not perfect here, so I'm not like asking for free labor here. So you help me fix something, then I try to give back.
Free smoke testing, baby.
Exactly. Yeah. That's when I'm testing something and I don't get nothing back from it. Like I did at my job all the time. I test something, I find a bug. It's like, cool. I don't get my name in the credits or nothing. So it's,
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you create code, though.
Yeah.
Well, not for a company, but anyways, thank you, brother. Once again, I appreciate you. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start off on the BCP metrics portion of this show. So, wanted to show everybody. Can everyone see that entire screen area? All of us on the show and watching as well. Everybody good to go? Comments? Yes. All right. So, start off with the pairing. So this is all Tournament Companion Standard, and this is how I do it at the events, okay? Tournament Companion Standard, GW Standard, and how they place the metrics, and then you have to transfer them, which are named completely different, about 4 of them, into Best Coast pairings. So it's not very easy to know as a tournament organizer, so this is kind of why I wanted to break it down. Now, this is just my particular standard. This is just the GW standard. There are different ways to really manipulate the metrics on BCP on Best Coast pairings. I mean, I think there's 30, so about 30,000 something possibilities that you can kind of configure them between the metrics. With that being said, Games Workshop has given us 3 for pairings and 3 for placings, and that's what we're going to break down today. So what does it mean entirely? Wins are the first thing in the system that the system checks, okay? So when you're playing all of your rounds throughout the event, all 3 rounds, the wins is the first thing that gets checked, all right? So this is the first thing that gets checked in your pairings metric. And it is in a chronological order as well, a step-down order, where the highest one has a higher authority, and then the second, and then the third, okay? How does it affect you? So your next opponent usually has the same or closest record. One result may give you a different bracket. So if you go into your second round and you're in a 5-round GT, and there's people who are 1-1 and people who are 2-0. Let's say you're 2-0. You're most likely, unless there's an odd number and some discrepancy in the metrics, you will most definitely play a 2-0 player just like yourself. Okay, that's exactly how it gets paired up initially with the wins. All right. So pairings start with your record, not with your opponent you want next. One loss changes your bracket and not your whole event. So what does it mean by bracket? Exactly what I just explained, right? If you're 1-1 or 2-0, you're either going to be in the 1-1 bracket or in the 2-0 bracket. All right. And that changes. You don't get to visualize that, obviously, right? That's why we're visualizing it here on this slide, so you can actually see how it looks. And if you look to the right, the first pairing filter, right? This is how it should look. You're going to have these many individuals within those brackets themselves. For those of you who've ever been to WCW, which is the Warhammer World Championships of Warhammer, it is where you get specially invited to go play 40K and play in pods. Brackets, pods, very, very similar. Pods will put people in the same exact win percentage, right, that metric, and put them in a pairings metric appropriately to their bracket or pod. Okay. So I hope everybody's kind of following along. Once we get to the 6th one, you're really going to understand, and it's really going to materialize in your mind and understand a lot better, hopefully. If you have any questions throughout, please, Regal, Jake, stop me at any moment in time. And I can't see it. I'm on full screen right now, gentlemen. So pairings metric 2. Anybody else want to take this one? Regal, Jake.
Well, something I was wanting to touch on in your
Yes.
last thing, we're point number 4, where it says, what a loss changes your bracket, not the event. At most events, whether it's a 30-man or a 200-man, most of the time, 1, maybe 2 people max go undefeated. So one loss still, and this is the part we talked about before, the mental fortitude.
Thank you.
You can still podium with 1 loss, because statistically, 85% of the events you go to, only 1 person's not going to have a loss. So you lose round 1, you can still shoot for second. That's still very much on the table. I just wanted to point that out as like a mindset thing that kind of goes along with this.
No. I love that you brought that up, and look at number 5 too. That kind of points to your fact is that keep playing. Like, just because you take a loss, you go 2-1, and you're going into Sunday. Keep on going. Keep on playing. Like you have the potential, like Regal said, to actually get in first place. It's slimmer, but you still have the possibility. And coming in second and third place, or even in the top 18, I believe it is now, at WCW, you come back the following year. So I mean, like,
oh wow,
you're good. Like, I mean, like, you get a lot of chances to do very well, right? So even coming in second and third, you still get prizes and money and trophies. Go ahead, Regal.
I was saying this: the path to victory. Whether you lose round 1 or lose round 3, it's the same record of 2-1. It doesn't really matter. And we might get into it later, whether you lose early or lose later based on other metrics.
It does matter for what you're saying now. Yes.
Yeah. For don't jump the cart. But as far as the context of your overall record,
yes,
wherever you lose doesn't matter.
Yep.
And preferably, you shouldn't plan to lose.
Yep.
I mean, plan realistically, but always, as we say, have a plan at the table to win. If someone shows up with 3 defilers with 4 rerolls and crit 5s, it's going to be what it's going to be, but make a plan.
Recon Fire says lose early and then dominate the loser bracket the rest of the way. That's definitely a way to look at it.
Well,
there's definitely a way to look at it.
There's a term for people who have done that and weaponized it, and
submarine.
Yeah, don't do that as a plan. But hey, if you could because like if you go into one of the top 10 players in the world round 1 at Crucible, you're in the loser bracket. Sure, kick a couple steals, make your way back up to the top 16.
There's a lot of events that allows challenges first round, just for the record.
Yeah,
a lot of events. There's actually a company who does challenger coins, challenge coins, first round. So, you want to take it away, Regal?
All
right.
I was trying to see this. It looks like the same slide, so I was just making sure before I said yes, it was different. I'm good with it.
Path to victory.
Yep. And this is a lot of things that people get confused about, myself included. Lewis had to explain this to me like 3 different times over 4 hours total for me to finally get it. So, what it means, a path to victory looks at when your wins and losses happen. So this is you winning early versus winning late. 2 players can share a record without sharing the same route. This is someone who loses round 1 versus someone who loses round 3. They had very different experiences. And a later loss is a different path than an early loss. And just to kind of touch on that is the submarine effect we talked about, where if you lose early, your rounds 2 and 3 might be easier opponents, where if you wait until round 3, round 5, round 7, you fought winner after winner after winner. And so that is kind of the path to victory that what that term is talking about. And the difference maker of, we both went 3-1, or 5 or 4-1, 6-1, whatever. It's like, yeah, but all of their opponents were 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and all of your opponents were 1-1, 2-1, 3-2, etc.
And Regal, to cut in there too, right? I want to take Crucible, for example, right? Which was my first super major event back in Halloween of last year, right? And where I got to meet Lewis for the first time. Love it, love it, love it. But all right, so Crucible, for example, right? After, I believe, was it day 1 or day 2? I think it was after day 2. There was the cutoff. It was day 2, and then there was the cutoff for the elite bracket, right? Where those people who were undefeated up to that point, right? Got separated completely into a different bracket, right? So like even that, for example, right? Like let's say like you go 5-0 first day, right? And then you just lose those last 2 games day 3, you know, because you're in the elite bracket, you just got pummeled, you know. Your 5-2 is not going to be the same as somebody else who's also 5-2 because they lost their first 2 games off rip and then they won the next 5 back to back to back. It's not quite the same because you got separated into a whole different bracket, but it's still the same score. But it's just how you got there's a little bit different, and so it's weighted a little bit differently accordingly.
I have a question. So have we gone to the one that uses your victory points?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So and this one I'm sure does this one cause you the most pain and headache when people are confused about where they land?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the one. So Path to Victory is the one that people most frequently don't understand and hate the most because they don't understand it. What ends up happening is they don't understand when they lose, how it would affect them, right? And even if you try to tech into it first turn, it's still not going to give you a better ability to get into better opponents.
And this is how it's ranked. Yeah,
Huh?
sorry. But this is how you rank, right? When you look at the rankings, it ranks based off of this.
This is what tells you who you're going to play against based on the bracket that you're playing in. This is still pairings. This is not points yet.
Sorry.
So this just tells you who you're playing against.
Okay.
Yep.
And on that, the second point is how it affects you. You know, a 2-1 who started 2-0 is not the same as a 2-1 who lost round 1. And again, that's what we talked about. Whereas, the person who went 2-0 beat someone else who was undefeated for at least 2 rounds. Whereas the person who lost round 1 played at least one person who was 0-1 like they were. Mm-hmm. The system uses history to separate similar records, so that's why it's very. And just on this note specifically, since we're here, this is also why event retention is very important, even for just as players. Because if it's a 5-round event and you only play like day 1 the first 2 rounds, then leave. Well, those 2 opponents you played now don't have a full 5 rounds for their path to victory. They have only 2, which again, stuff happens. This is a hobby. It's not the most important thing. But if you can help it, it isn't just you. It is every person you've played as well and their metric because of path to victory. I just wanted to. I don't know if that's on a later slide. But I just wanted to point that out while we're here in the path metrics. Common complaint is, if we're both 2-1, why does their path look better than mine? Girls play this game too, Lewis. Come on. So the honest truth is the same record does not always mean the same tournament path, that we've beaten that horse to death. Your earlier round shape where you land next, and in my experience, it is not really a specific, like, oh, I'm going to play that person. Like, if it's a 30-person event, after round 1, you'll see roughly the other 14 or 13 people you have to play. And then if you win again, you're like, all right, these 6 other people I might have to play. You win again, it's like, all right, now there's only like 1 of 2 options, or maybe 3 if there was a bye or something. And so you'll see how it's not directly, yes, I'm going against that guy over there. It's slowly shrinking the pool from like a pool to a hot tub to, a jacuzzi to a tub to like a sink, like when it's just you in the finals. And then, player takeaway, your route matters, not just your record. And this is honestly good for the community. Like all this, it sounds complicated, it sounds confusing. This is what encourages us all to play our best. Because as we said, even if you lose early, you could fight your way back up to a podium position. If you lose later, your opponents that did well could still help you play high. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but a good buddy of ours, Clay from Almost Functional, he is actually, his record in sticking out playing all 7 rounds of Cherokee this year in North Carolina, and his wins he got over certain opponents are actually what got, I believe, the person who came in third, the third place pairing. It was his win path that put the third player above the person who came in 4th. So it's your route, but it's also, the 2, 5, 7 other people you play kind of, symbiotically drawing off it as well, and you doing the same for the people you play. Like again, to use the lose round one example, you can lose round one. Like I lost to Jake round one at Crucible. I still wanted Jake to do good. If I win my next 6 matches and Jake wins his next 3 or 4, suddenly I might be in the top 16 still. So it's you want to do good, and you want your opponents, win or lose, to also do good. Because like Jake beat me, but then if I do good on the other hand, Jake's path to victory gets that much more up because he beat someone who went, 5-2, 6-1 theoretically, whatever. Correct, Recon. Rising tide lifts all ships. That is exactly the mindset you should have.
Which is also why if you unfortunately pair one of those top 10 players in the world off rip round one, right? Your event's not over, right? Look at it on the bright side, right? Now your win record, your opponent win record, and all that stuff is going to skyrocket throughout the event because you can expect them to do well, right? So, unironically, that pairing is 10 times better than maybe you had a fluke and you made a couple mistakes and it cost you a game, maybe you forgot Calidus has fights first and forgot to get into Synapse for a Land Raider, something like that,
That's a real specific example there.
Yeah. Wonder what can we talk about? I don't know.
But yeah, no, absolutely. And that again, this is the metrics, the numbers behind it, but it's also like kind of showing you how sportsmanship, longevity at an event, all this stuff goes into not just your experience, but the communities as a whole. I can keep going if you want me to, unless someone else wants to take over this. I love talking about this stuff. This, like I said, I had to study this a long time.
So I have a question on this. So like, because this is something it's funny that we're going over this because I often question this stuff myself.
Yeah.
This translates into the path to victory points. When you're looking, like as a user, I'm looking at the actual points, right? Correct? Is that true? Okay. So close. Okay.
Close. When you see all 6, you'll have a better picture. I promise.
Well, for the setup, I feel like for the setup of his question, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll shut up. Then I'll wait till we go through all this because I do have questions on how this works.
And by all means, if you have questions in the chat, feel free to type them. We will get to them, and maybe they'll be answered as we go. But if not, we will certainly, do our best. And
rock and roll, baby.
I'm trying to engage with the people. All right. So again, what it means here, the final pairing step, after wins and path to victory, the system randomizes within the correct group. That's what you're talking about, where, the winner pool gets smaller and smaller. It pulls from valid opponents, not from the whole room. And random is the last pairing step, not the main metric. So this is after every tangible metric that could be grabbed onto is grabbed by the pairing algorithm. When it is just you and, the 13, 6, 4, 2, other opponents, then it just says, okay, that one. How it affects you. You cannot control the legal opponent you draw. Neither can the TO. Don't blame the TO. If you see me doing it, it's because we're friends and I'm messing with them. But, it is BCP. Just...
Blame BCP.
it's a number throw into a blip.
Not Lewis's fault?
I don't know. Like if you didn't want to play, 3 re-rolling defilers, maybe you shouldn't have gone 2-0. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey.
It helps avoid predictable or manipulated pairings. Again, this is good, and none of us want to lose because basically,
that was true life. I just noticed that was true life you were talking about. It's so much funnier when you realize it.
I got him.
Lewis, if you caught it earlier, right? I made a specific call to his little mess up that he made in our game, right? And how
I got him back.
That cost him a little bit, and then he just snapped back.
Get back. Yeah. Got it.
Yep. But yeah, so it helps avoid predictable and manipulated pairings, and this goes back to the submarine thing, and also coordinated things. We don't like to talk about it, especially on this channel, because we like to focus on the positive and the growth of the community. But there have been, unfortunately, people and organizations that have manipulated their matches so certain people can advance, or whatever. So luckily, it's much less prevalent over the past couple of years, but this helps to kind of prevent that kind of match stacking, at events, and gives a fair experience to everyone. We all pay the same price. We all bring 2,000 points army. We all spend way too much time and money. You shouldn't be cheated out of an event. Common complaint: random screwed me. I got the wrong opponent. No, you built your list wrong. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm not. No, you brought the wrong list. If you know that, like all Tyranids, you should have. Tyranids can't handle double digit toughness stuff well, and I went to an event that was almost like between the Knights, Catan, and Defilers, there was like 40 double digit toughness models. That's not including the Land Raiders and Guard tanks, so it was fine. Random didn't screw me. It was just the wrong meta for my list, and that's fine. Honest truth. So that if random only happens after the bracket is narrowed correctly. Again, you don't want to go into top tier lists. Don't go undefeated. You won't. It's fine. I promise. And it keeps pairings fair when multiple valid options exist.
Yes.
This is my favorite. Honestly, it keeps the excitement going. Like after round one, or like at the end of day one, the pairings won't be up to the morning. I go in and I look at mine. I look at like the 6, 13, 20 people, and I'll just lay there or sit there scrolling through their list, being like, oh, if I get you. Oh no, I don't want you. Oh, just again, it keeps the excitement in me. This is a personal experience thing that I don't know who I'm gonna get until I have to kind of make a plan for everything and hone it in like the last 10 minutes when the pairings go up. Player takeaway: random lives inside the right bracket. It is not chaos. This is true. This is the final step when every tangible and measurable factor has been put into play. Then you just get put into the blender and popped out with who you're popped out with.
We have an old saying as developers where it's called picnic, problem in chair, not in computer. Probably nowadays with 40K, problem with people standing and not the actual game. Like you have to listen. It's probably advantageous to you to watch this show, read the metrics. That way you understand them. You understand how you can not manipulate them, but be in position to understand them, right? To know what's going to happen next. So, for example, you can be at in third round, and 2 people are kind of in your random within the correct group that you have here on the image, right? And you'll know between yourself and those 3 other people, there's a group of 4. It's going to be one of those 3. So then that night, Saturday night, you can kind of break it down to which list you might play against, things like that. Like, it's not random in the sense it's random all over the place. It's still going to be people who are 3-0. That means it could be exponentially harder at like Crucible, where 60 people are undefeated after round 3.
That's actually my example is Crucible of 2024, day 2, round 3. Yeah. Funny enough, you say that. The night before, I'm sitting in the room and I'm looking at like, all right, based off of our record, it was like 180 something or 140 something people. So after 2 rounds, it's half and half. So it was like 35 people. But it wasn't actually, because there were some draws, there were some people who dropped, and there was a wild points variation, which to Chris's thing, I was only looking at people within about 50 points total victory points of me. Because I'm like, if these people exist and are viable, I'm probably not getting thrown to like, if I have, after 2 rounds, 190 points, I'm not playing the person who won with like 90 somehow. So, and I did. I looked at him. I found a death card opponent. Wonderful gentleman. I don't remember your name. This is nothing against you. But I'm like, he's probably won. So I spent about 10 minutes going over his list and my plan for it. Got him. And I ended up winning like 90-30. It was a great game. It just, I already had a game plan in mind like 10 hours before.
Yep. And slide 5 is going to kind of piggyback off that as well. People are going to start realizing once you watch the pairings and now you're watching the placing metrics, then you're going to start realizing, okay, I can definitively almost to a T figure out exactly who I'm going to play against, especially with slide 5, and that'll help you finalize it.
I called it. Jake at Great Onslaught 12 had a 1 in 3 chance of playing Adam, and I'm like, do it.
Do it.
He did. And he got him. And I'm like, yes, the algorithm works.
See, you
I got fondled that game, but it was a great game, and we loved it.
Like I said, I spent a ton of time learning how all this works, back end to front end to back end. So
Drukari does dirty things, so we all know that. Hey, Jake, you want to give this a chance? I don't mean to put you on blast, but I know Regal's been speaking. I don't mind not speaking, but Jake, no. If you would like to take a read, brother, just trying to give you an opportunity to speak.
We're back to the first one. The first.
It's a continuation.
Harry.
Oh. Well, honestly, I feel like Regal said everything that, like, you know. That
thank you for pointing that out.
And
it's supposed to be not placing. It's supposed to be different than that. Placement.
Yeah, no, it's a new slide, so you got to go. He asking if you want to read the new slide.
Yes, please.
Is this a new slide? I swear this was
like
yes.
We did
slide. Is it one of three? Like I was like, okay, all right, my bad. Okay. Anyways, all right. So as far as like placement goes, right? Obviously, your wins are going to be they are the number one thing that's going to be what sets you apart. You know, obviously the guy that's undefeated is going to be, you know, at the top versus the guy who has a loss in his record, right? Because at the end of the day, right, did you win your games, right? And so how it affects you, right? Obviously your wins are going to determine where you're going to fall in that bracket, right? So a 4-1 is going to usually place above you when you're 3-2, right? However, where that varies, right, is what we were talking about with Path of Victory. Sometimes, very rarely, right, you can find where due to the Path of Victory and then your points metrics, right, of how much points you scored, right, your opponent win records, right, and then your Path to Victory and how you took it, right. Sometimes that can give you the boost that you need to place over somebody who might have a win on you, right? Or maybe they have the same record as you, right? And then that's going to be what like makes the difference between the two, which is pretty cool. And so at the end of the day, though, those wins are going to be the number one placement metric. So it's going to be really hard to go and like make those numbers boost you over somebody who has a win on top of you. However, it is possible and it does happen. Player takeaway though, if you want to place high, win your games. Yep. Like Steve told me when I said I wanted to pair him, he said, well, if you want to pair me, just win your games. And I was like, okay.
Quick
little did I know that was a mistake.
Yeah, on number 4, higher scoring does not jump a better record. And that is what we touched on prior, because if you get, if you go like 4-1 and you lost your first round and you spent your next, 2 or 3 rounds getting almost perfect scores, you almost certainly, except maybe for the last round, did not play harder opponents than the person who went 4-1 and their one loss was in the semifinals and against the person who won.
That's right.
So they might have a lower score, but they played theoretically more skilled opponents in more difficult games.
Going back to what you talked about, or what Regal talked about earlier, if you're playing against Jake and Jake goes on to play and win the championship, Regal's record by proxy is going to be better. It's just going to be better. It's just going to be better. He's going to place better, and he's going to play better opponents as well. Yeah.
So, and an easy way to think about it is the more undefeated players you get, the stronger your strength of record is going to be.
Yep.
That's just a good short form. They like start with win. Winning is good. Beating undefeated players is the best.
Now, this is the one people get so confused with when it comes to the opponent game win percentage.
Yep.
I'm one of them. I get really confused on this part.
Chris, you want to read it?
Sure. I'll read the slide that I'm most confused about. Sure.
Hey, it's right there. It's a slide. It's already written.
That frees us up to answer it without you worrying about interrupting.
Yeah, all right. So opponent game win percentage. Opponent game win percentage measures how well your opponents performed. Rewards players who had a harder road. Makes sense. And this is how I kind of interpreted it myself. It separates tied records before battle points.
Yep.
So that's what it means on the point wise. But how it affects you is if your opponents keep winning, this metric gets stronger. This is interesting. If your opponents lose or drop early, this metric can get weaker. And the common complaint is my opponent dropped, so my opponent game win percentage is tanked. But the honest truth is a drop can hurt this metric. Does not erase your win. It does not erase your battle points, which is, I guess, important, right, at the end of the day. And then the player takeaway here is you cannot fully control this metric, so just win, score, and finish strong. Makes sense.
Yep. This is in chess, right? Like there's a very similar metric system.
Elo, yeah.
Yeah, in chess for Elo, exactly. So, and we use that in 40K for teams as well. And for some singles events. So I think they extrapolate from 32 player GTs, I think it was. 32 players, was it 30 or 20 or something like that? It was something.
I think it's 32, and I think it's 5 rounds. I don't think it's 3. I don't think it's 3 rounds.
Yeah. You're right. It was like
also,
5 rounds only.
But if you want the details, check out our last video. We went deep into that like we are here.
We did Elo. Yes, we did. And Reigel, man, he did a fantastic job on that Elo. Yes. And we talked about who was number 1 in the area too. But anyways.
Yep. But on this. This is just simple math. Again, you can look at the number of rounds there are, and like a 3-round event, it's 1, 2, and 3. So okay, if you're 3-0, 100%. If you're 2-1, it's 66%. If it's 1 and 2, it's 33, and if you're 0 and 3, it's 0. And that number, that percentage scale exists for every other player at that event. So you go through your round, you look at your round 1 opponent, you beat them, but they lost their next 2 matches, they had a 33% win. If they won their next 2 matches, they had a 66% win. And you are the reason they didn't get 100%. Yep. And this is also where we talked about earlier. Drops hurt because now it's just no information, and it is any of you that ever graded schoolwork or know how grades work for education. Jake just finished college. Congrats to him. That not doing an assignment is almost mathematically infinitely worse than doing it and just getting a bad grade.
Yep.
And it's same here. And you can't, but the player takeaway, you can't control that. So you win, score, and then you finish strong. So then you are perpetuating the good opponent win percentage, not the dropping. Now again, if you have to drop for emergencies, there is no shame in that. You have to catch a flight, family emergency. But again, there are more important things. But dropping because
I don't care what it is. You better be dying even then.
Look! He's not kidding. In 2024, the power went out at Crucible, and there was talks about getting candles in the room. Okay, this man's serious.
So
bring out lanterns.
So just so I make sure I understand this correctly, because again, I read the slide, but I'm still trying to grasp it. So this is how I thought it was. So like, if I go against, let's say my first round, I'm paired against, an Art of War guy or whatever, and that person is obviously going to probably play a lot better than me. Does my score go? Do I get a better opponent game win percentage because I played against them even though I lost? So if I lose, I still kind of win in some senses when I'm.
That's also predicated on how well you continue to do throughout the event. But yes, it's smart. And
so
that's a great point that you bring up too, because
it's a spin. It's a positive spin. So even though I've lost to you, you're a better player than me. I at least gave it my best, and I'm taking some benefit from that, even though I lost.
I am trying to refrain from giving too much information as a tournament organizer, because if I see somebody trying to do the things that I'm thinking of, I will DQ them. But there are ways and opportunities.
I got you, boo. This is what Lewis talked about earlier, where he says as we finish this out and fill in, because we're kind of working from like backwards.
Yep.
Because there's very little about actual points have been mentioned, but if you look at point 1.
Yep.
Opponent win game percentage separates tied records before battle points even come into play.
Oh.
So in your example, if you lost to anyone in Art of War, but let's just say you went, you won. It's an RTT, and you won your next 2. So you went 2-1, and your only loss was to the guy who won the event. You're probably top 5, legitimately. Be part of your own wins, and then because you have one of your opponents has a 100% win percentage, which isn't as good as a win, but it's as close as you're going to get without winning.
Here, I will give Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so yes, you do still kind of win, but, and this is what Lewis was saying about how it's super hard to manipulate. It still depends on your win score and finishing strong. Because if you lose to the first guy, and then you lose to the second guy, and then you lose to the third guy, going 0-3, your opponent's win game percentage might not put you in last place, but it's not doing a whole lot more.
That's right.
So there are the other factors that place you, to include your points you score in your games.
Now, there is one tip that I want to give everybody real quick, right? Everybody's paying attention and watching. If you are at an event, and you can go to your BCP right now, if you're at an event or at the end of the event, and you go down specifically an Onslaught event, because you'll see it SOS on there. Go down to the second metric that is in the placing section. So when you see who's won first, second place, press your name. The second metric on there shows exactly this, and you can follow that throughout the event. Right?
I'm gonna do
And
it right now.
knowing this slide, you can say, okay, if I'm in the 30% percentile, that means the people that I've played with are doing poorly, and I'm potentially doing poorly as well. But if I'm in the 70s, 60s, that means that every single opponent that I've played is doing very well and continuing to do very well as well. And you'll notice that the higher the numbers, the better that your opponents are moving on to do well. You can tell that immediately. And then you can start looking and saying, okay, who am I going to place up against next? This is probably the most empirical one to help you out with that. It really is.
I also wanted to point out, I don't know if it's going to be said later, but you specifically use, a 0-4 to 4-0 record as your example.
Yep.
And this actually is really good, because a lot of win percentage stats, and even like the bracket systems like at Crucible, start at 4-0. So like if you have 100% win rate after round 4, you are the shorthand term is called TWIP, tournaments in winning position, where you have a legit shot at the top. And to kind of like show you just how much of a like what your competitive pool is, if you have 200 people, after 4 rounds, there will only be 12 to 13 undefeateds, not assuming draws and drops and whatnot. Yep. So like there's not out of 200 people at a like a 5-round, 7-round event, there is not even a top 16 that's undefeated after 4 rounds. So that's
last year at Crucible we had 2 3-1 and the rest were 4-0.
Yep.
And before we went into the bracket. Yep.
And so this is why, the 4-0 mark is if you can go 4-0 at an event, you are very, very well off. And if you consistently go 4-0, then it's going great.
Yeah. All right. And then to finalize it, this is only a tiebreaker. And when I say tiebreaker, this means that ultimately, when all of the other metrics are tied out, let's say they're all draws, battle points will be the tertiary, right? Tertiary that will define your placing. This is just regular battle points. There is, going back to, I believe, Reigel and Jake were talking about it earlier, submarining is no longer a thing, so you can go ahead and get 100 points. I've actually had people try to manipulate the system or at my event and say, hey, I won 100 points. I'm kind of upset that I didn't win. Why didn't I win? And then I broke it down to them that submarining is not a thing, that it doesn't matter how many points you're getting, because and if you're beating on people who are novice level players, that you don't get a lot of cool points for that. And this shows that.
Yep. I have a quick question for you that I'm actually not sure of. I don't know if you have it on a slide or not. If you do, we can wait till it comes up.
No,
but how do buy rounds play into opponent win percentage?
So they function the same. They function all the same way, depending on what what point scale they're using for the tournament organizer. So this can be an answered 3 different ways, right? If the tournament organizer is giving a set value based on the percentages of the event, that can change. If he's doing a percentage value or he's doing a set value, right? That can change the event as well for the second one. There are a lot of metrics that can change that, but how it works is if you take a buy, you get 80 points at my events. That's what I offer at my events, right? You will go into the winner's bracket. the 0, if there was a participant that was a 0, either if it was a 0 for a person, will continue to affect you. If it's a bye, like Reigel is saying, where you actually never played against anyone, there is no metrics for you to place against. So what ends up happening to that number, it ends up going stale. It ends up going stale out of 7 rounds. It just stays consistent. It's a constant number. It doesn't get factored in percentage-wise into the ultimate, and it just stays there. And that's it. And that's how buys work. So buys actually, in long events, potentially hurt you. In short events, they help you immensely.
So if you're at a 3-round event, instead of being divided by 3, you would be divided by 2 opponents?
Oh, it's happened a bunch of times. I've had people come to my events, second round, they get a bye and end up coming in second place and got a low score for first and third round.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't sure where more buys fit in, because again, that's a reality that sometimes there is an odd number of players for any number of reasons, and someone just does have to get their 75, 80 points in a 4-hour lunch. So I wasn't sure how that, but yeah, that's good.
4-hour lunch. God damn, where are we at?
Look, man. Look, day 1, I don't want to buy. By the time we get to day 3, if you want to give me the buy, I'm here for it. I'm like, I'll take it. Look, Jake's like,
Yeah.
But so yeah, and I really like, if people screenshot if you need to the battle points. There's a wonderful little metric over here that shows a top 4 with 4 wins, win percentages, 2 tied, 2 and then like 1 at the bottom, and all the points different. You can see 94, 89, 98, 91.
Yep.
So that's a good visual representation with like little guiding markers explaining who's where and why. And you can see that points still do matter. Both opponents had a 72.22% win rate, but player 1 got 5 more points. So he wins. And again, the points did matter, but only as Lou was saying, at the very end of all of this.
Yep.
Did the points come into play?
Yep. And Chris sent me a message, and this is a good point that I'm going to bring up real quick. All right,
go ahead.
He's playing against a certain individual. I'm not going to name names, but he was
playing.
This is not against,
placing.
but a record placing. Sorry.
This is placing.
He's placed 46. Somebody else was placed 49. He ended up losing his first round. They ended up winning their first round, and then second round, Chris won, and his opponent lost the second round. Okay, so if you're following along, Chris is loss, win. Now loss, okay, and then the one that placed lower is win, loss, win, within those 3, okay. So what ends up happening is, and I'm going to explain it to you right now because I wanted to break down those 3 portions before I went on to the next 4 rounds, because this is 7 rounds, but this is how it's decided right here. Within those 3 rounds, I change it into a bracket, so then there's another metrics that's added to that as well, and on top of that, he lost in the earlier rounds. Remember what we were talking about? I want to say slide 2. The earlier you lose, the better it is for you, right?
Okay.
So you, especially if your opponents end up moving on and doing well throughout the tournament, and that can oscillate too. Like that can be a flow chart out of this world, right? Like, I mean, you can play against 3 people, beat them all, and then they end up all dropping, and it could heavily affect you.
The big thing that stuck out of me. So this is actually, I searched for Dark Angels because this year I won Best Dark Angel Player because John Lennon won the overall.
Yeah.
So the next one was me, which was strange. I was completely surprised because I placed only 46, and I didn't do so great. But I did better than all the other Dark Angel players. But when I looked at Jarrett, who I know, by the way, I met him later on, and we're buddies now. He won 4 games, right? So when I look at this as a newbie, I'm looking at it. I won 3 games. He won 4 games, and he's below me. I'm looking at the opponent game win percentage. I have a lower one, and my battle points is lower. So I just, it's confusing. But you're saying you had brackets, and that's something that maybe I didn't even know you did. So, but you get what I'm saying? How yeah. I thought it was a good example of understanding how, because I'm sure that might be frustrating for someone to look at that and say, why did this Chris guy get ahead of me? Because he had, 3 games that he won. I won 4 games.
That's subjective to your particular situation. Like, we can talk about that one. Every other one can be varying, especially if it's different battle points, if there was draws. I mean, it could be all over the place, but in your particular matter, and in all situations, the earlier you lose, the better it is for you.
Yeah.
The later you lose, the worse it is for you.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. That's why you'll see a lot of people, they'll go first and second, and then the second place, first and second to play against each other in the finals. Then one of the players will be whatever, first or second, and he'll drop or she'll drop to like 10th place. And you're like, what the hell just happened? That's because depending on the points, and that's because you just played the best player that beat you. So then now you're going to drop below all of those other 4-1s or whatever, because now you're 4-1, but got beaten by the person who has the highest score, which hurts you even more in the later rounds. If that makes sense to everyone. But that's basically how it breaks down. That was a lot of information, wonderful information.
Thanks for going over that. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, Chris. Thank you for that app. That awesome breakdown by you and Lewis. Sharing the not even just BCP, just the tournament metrics being used. From like worlds all the way down to local RTTs.
Yeah. Yep. Try to give everybody, a little bit of understanding. So I know a lot of us are tired and parched. What else you got to say, Regal? Jake, what you got, baby?
Oh, no, I was raising my hand as part of that crew.
I just got to say, Recon's smarter than all of us. He says, I think I'm just going to play one game at a time and let BCP figure it out. Brother, me and you both. I don't. Dude, at Onslaught 12, I was in a sharing room with Jake, Clay, my buddy Anime Squirrel. We were all having a great time. And, like, Jake and Clay are sitting there, like, madmenning it. And I'm just laying there like, guys, worry about it when you get your pairing. There's like 40 people, okay? We're not going to.
Little did we know I was going to get the pairing.
Egg on my face. He got the pairing they practiced for. And I'm like,
yep.
he had to slip Lewis like a 50 or something. There's no way.
I didn't even know somebody other than Clay was running Clay's list, because Clay poached it off of Sam.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that. And then I'm like looking at his list. I'm like, oh, so is there any difference between this? No. Oh. And then I talked to Clay. He's like, yeah, that's who I got my list from. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Same mission, same layout, same everything. I'm like, okay.
Also,
I played this game last night.
So first of all, as we always say, if you make a plan when you come to the table, it's way too late to have a plan made. Yep. But secondly, Chris, thank you so much for this app, because there has been a moment of dice variation that has haunted Jake for about 3 months or so, and we can finally put it in a numerical system. Yeah, that's Jake's like, oh no.
I already know how it plays. I don't have to put it in.
Also, is that a Garchomp on your back thing?
It is. I threw him in there halfway through the show just to have him hang out.
Nice.
Now,
I would be remiss though. Jake, do you want us to fail as a channel? Do you not want to support us? What? Where's the dog? Where's the mascot?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the puppy. She's in the kennel. She's sleeping.
No, you're fine. I'm like, man, if he doesn't bring the dog on, I'm gonna give him crap again. For those of you who don't know, Jake got a wonderful surprise puppy last week. It was awesome. She's adorable. But no, other than that, all I will say is, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, for staying here. This was a bit of a longer episode. I had fun. I hope all of you did with us.
You can blame me. Showcasing an app takes a while.
No, everyone loved it, man. Thank you.
Free tokens for everybody.
Yay. I'm already working on your
drops like
report.
a little drops like a little link halfway through the show, just to prove you were there. Be like, yeah, if you know this code. If you know this code,
next time I'll do promo codes next time. I'll do promo codes next time for.
It's like
Lewis.
First 7 people to click and get it. The rest of you
yeah. I just thought of promo codes.
Matter of fact, hey, we can leverage that. You hear that, people? Yeah. Maybe we do something special in the next couple of days or weeks, right? We do a little something. Come on.
Yeah.
This is evil. Look, I've played into Dark Angels, Custodies. They don't need to make more 4-ups, okay? They need to make less 4-ups.
And invulnerables too. He selected invulnerables. Why invulns? Yeah. Why can't it just be regular where I can, -1 you or something?
I think he still has it.
Jake's over here playing Custodies and Victory Scarred, like 4-up armor save. Is this some as a joke? I'm too rich.
You know what though? I've seen Recon play Custodes, and I've never seen someone more bored in my entire life.
Dude, like when you play Custodes, right? You have your turn. You do very telegraph stuff, and then it's now your opponent's turn. You're like, okay, cool, all right.
Yep.
I have no stratagems to use in my phase, and I have no stratagems to use in your phase. I might command reroll something.
He's just kind of like 4s. Yeah, more 4s.
Yep.
I don't take damage
versus Ultramarines. It's like it's like okay, I'm gonna oath this. That'll be my second oath of an air. We're gonna do advance and charge for the doctrine, but we're gonna give this guy advance and shoot. Okay, cool. Now this guy has advance and shoot. When I pop this strat, right, I'm gonna get +1 AP as well, and ignores cover. So it's gonna be AP4 ignore cover.
So it's still 4s, right? 4s.
No,
Still 4s the whole time.
Still 4s, right? Okay, go. You've been in those games where like they're constantly like it's AP this, and I'm like, I don't care. It's still 4s.
It is. No, I appreciate everybody for coming.
The biggest pet peeve is whenever someone goes, "All right, you have a save on your invuln, and it's like it makes me feel like I'm not gonna. Whenever someone says on your invuln, it's like it's a curse.
I do that.
You don't roll it. You
I
don't
do
get those 4-ups, and you say it.
I blame Recon for this. This is entirely his fault.
Yeah, my bad.
Jake,
No,
why don't you take us out, brother? Take us out, Jake.
Well,
Alrighty, guys.
Hold on.
No. You're done, Regal. You're done. Pause. Get out of here, Jake. Come on. Message to people. Bye.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks again for Chris for coming over here and sharing his wonderful app with everybody, and then giving those tools and that information out to you guys, right? And that would be his appreciation for you coming by and stopping by and saying hey, and just hearing what his app and his hard work has to show and do. You know, he put tons of time and effort into it, and I hope you guys really enjoy it, right? I know that I'm still going to be fiddling around with it. I think it's super awesome and super neat, especially for the reasons that I listed too. And again, thanks everybody for stopping by. I hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you in the next one. Lewis, take us out of here.
Regal, 5 seconds.
I'm good. I said my piece. I have no more opinions. I think the hive mind was silenced. No, thank you everyone so much. Yes, absolutely support Chris and his app. It's a wonderful thing. Support Lewis with Onslaught events. I like going to them. People need to go to them so we can keep putting them on. So do that. And hope you run into Jake because he's a freaking monster on the table and he'll crush you.
Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. Love you all, my people. See you next time.
See you, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.